Ladies and gentlemen, the world of wine is full of snobbery. And snobbery for me is entirely wrong. The whole point is that whether it's music or art, or of course wine, your preferences are yours alone. So, when it comes to listening to critics and they say, can you find the hint of toasted bracken, plum pit or crushed lino on the nose? The question is that particularly helpful? At Lunzer Wine, we have a much more sympathetic approach and one that doesn't involve endless strings of adjectives. Falling into wine for me was a bit of an accident. I had embarked on an architecture course and fortunately, in one sense, before the end of the second out of 7 years, my father, my tutor and the bank manager had all concluded that I was not about to be the next Sir Christopher Wren. And so I went back to what had been a holiday job for me. And I was working with a wine merchant and, in one sense, I am still in that job. In the decades that have passed since starting this whole process, I have really worked in 3 distinct areas, but they're overlapping. The first was that I worked as a wine merchant. The second was that I hosted wine tastings and have been doing so all over the world. And the third is that I've invested many, many millions of pounds in fine wines for people to enjoy the benefit of what can happen if you buy the right thing at the right time. But the real key, I suppose, is that in all these years I've worked out what people really want to know about wine. And it's not the academic stuff, the pH value of the soil. It's all about storytelling. And it's about sharing things rather than dictating what you should and should not like. Describing wines with multiple adjectives is an acquirable skill. I happen to know so because I passed various exams in order to get where I am today. But helping people find what they enjoy, I think, is a much more important goal. To learn how to taste wine is one of those sort of oxymorons. We all know what our mouth tells us, we like it or we don't. But it is fascinating and highlighted by something called the marriage of food and wine, one of our most popular topics, that if you take a bottle home and open it and you don't like the contents, then before committing it to the marinade or pouring it down the drain, it's worth trying to eat some food in order to see if different foods have an effect that actually make you enjoy the wine that you've bought. In conclusion, I would love to say that wine is a catalyst that brings people together. Shared experiences are vital, and whether the wine is delicious or utterly disgusting, those shared experiences bring us together, and long may that remain so. And my conclusion, I suppose, is to invite you to say that if you have anything you want to discuss about wine, we are open for conversations, and let me know what you're aiming to achieve, particularly in the corporate event world, and I can come up with some solutions. I consider myself very lucky that I've spent my entire working life working with a passion of mine. Let me share that passion with you and I can explain further. I am Peter Lunzer and my website lunzerwine.com tells you a bit about what we get up to, and also do follow me on Instagram @LunzerWine. Cheers.